I'm Matthew Zarnecki, and I'm doing my student video dialogue vlog for the C1000 class, and I did the poverty simulation one. I did it because I heard it was a little more than just sitting and talking with a bunch of people. You actually get to do something hands-on, and we were asked to answer a couple of questions about the simulation itself. So, to describe my experience, I thought it was a good idea. Um, I think it was a good idea because it exposed many people to the life of poverty, and it got them to know what life was like during poverty. And just going into it, I thought we were just going to go in, talk, and get it over with kind of thing. It wasn't going to be much of a big deal, but it turned out to be kind of a big deal kind of thing. It was very well set up, very well organized, and it was put together very nicely. Um, it was very fun. It was actually educational. Like I said, taught everybody very good amount of information on poverty and how it was like living in poverty. And you got to meet new people. You were put into groups, these little families you had to go through life of poverty with, and you didn't really know anybody going into it. So you met somebody new. You went through kind of like a month's worth of life going through poverty with these people. Secondly, what surprised me was how serious people took it. Going in, you got like your role is what family member you would play, and I was the dad. And, everybody else had their other role, but you'd sit down thinking, making fun of the name you had or the salary or the situation they were in, thinking it was all just fake stuff, and then the instructor kind of just dropped the bombshell and let you know that these are all actually based off real people, and it was just kind of like reality just set in really, really quick because you're just laughing on the roles you were and the amount of money they made, and just like their names, thinking they were all made up and stuff. But after it started, people, like I said, got really serious about it and started trying really hard, to get through their 2 months of life, and everybody acted upon their role that they were given. Um, I personally, like I said, was the dad, and I had lost my job, and I had to support my wife and daughter who was pregnant with a child, and um, getting used to the whole thing was very confusing. It was just trying to adjust. And so your first whatever like week they had you at work, you didn't really know what you were doing. You were trying to get everything together, and so you fall behind with money, and that doesn't really pay off in the end because then you're behind with food and groceries and that kind of stuff. And it was really interesting. My interaction was, well, like I said, we worked with my family personally. We had three people, which was myself, my pregnant daughter, and my wife. We were, like I said, all unemployed, and our daughter was going to high school, and so me and my wife had to go out and get jobs to support the family, to buy groceries, to pay bills, to child support kind of stuff, and medical bills, and we ended up working with our daughter's like baby daddy kind of thing, and to help share transportation passes and money, just so you could make life a little bit easier, even though it wasn't really easy in the first place. Um, and like I said, it was just very, very different because, like I said, we were used to this very easy lifestyle, and it was just a very big rude awakening. And another question were asked was what really stood out to us, and what stood out to me was how stressed and emotional people got, because you just came into it thinking it was a joke, and then you had to try really hard to do all this stuff, and it was just kind of like all this weight was just on your shoulders, and you had, like I said, pay bills and get everything done and organize money, and you only had so many transportation passes to get from place to place you need to get throughout the week, get your things done. So, and we had my wife in the simulation took everything really serious. She went to work very diligently, paid off bills, and got everything done, organized the money, and made sure the house was like all up to date, not up to date really, but paid off and that kind of stuff, so we didn't get evicted. And she would come back, like I said, just with everything done. It was just like I don't really have to do anything, but I knew in my part in the simulation I did have to do something to help keep my family situation stable enough. And like I said, she did a good job. So did everybody in my group, and kind of surprised by that because I didn't think everybody would take this as seriously as they did. And how it impacted me, um, well, we kind of all sat down as a group in the very end and discussed everything as like a main group, and people had like their stories of what they thought of it and how what everybody else thought of it and how everything went out, and talked about people they knew that they may have like in the situation, and made you really think that how thankful you were for the things you have, like the your laptops and your phones and your education you're getting and all these things, and you're not living in poverty like some of these individuals are in today's world. And overall, I thought it was a very good simulation. Like I said, I thought it was very well put together, very well organized, very well. The process simulation went over very well, and I would recommend it to very many people because it was, like I said, very well put together. And for the most part, I had a really good time, surprisingly. Because, like I said, I didn't think it was going to be that much fun. I was just going to go into it and talk and be over with. But, like I said, it was a good time, and I learned a lot, and hope other people learn a lot from this too in the future.